Abracadabra. Guess who's back? Back again. Kirk is back. Tell a friend. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in until the point with the king. You guys find us Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, which is hopefully where you're watching us. And if so, please click a subscribe, click a like. Shout out to my peoples out there in the Freak Nation. Shout out to you guys for supporting our fantastic guests, especially my man, the captivating Captain Kirk Alfaro, El Capitano. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on, man. I love coming on here. I wish I could be on here a lot more, but hey, let's do it today.
Hey, life is bigger than basketball and podcasts, right?
That's it.
Right?
You got it.
You guys know what it is. All right. Hey, Kirk. So right now, currently here at To The Point, what we're doing is we're doing player profiles, right? We're covering each individual player that we see as the core of the team, and they're so. But I want to ask you, we've already covered Scotty, we've already covered Grady. So I want to ask you about our Canada, our home and native land, RJ Barrett. Let me ask you some questions about him, and you tell me, because I know you're a big fan of his, right? What? Let's get into the first question. What do you think about his last season, well, half season, with your Toronto Raptors?
Yeah, well, you just nailed it, right? So it was just a half season, for a lot of people to come in to that kind of situation and just, become a star is really, really tough. I mean, you got, new, offensive sets, the mentality defensively is different. Everything's different, right? Your teammates are different, except for obviously IQ. But it's just a matter of getting used to it. And from what I saw last season, he wasn't that bad. I mean, there's a lot of he wasn't the New York Knicks RJ Barrett from his freshman year or his rookie year. But like I said, give him time. I like his chances. I like him on this Toronto Raptor team. Just a better shot selection for him is the only thing I would recommend or give him advice for. He played really good for Team Canada, so I mean, we'll go. Yeah. So I mean, I liked him last year. I mean, did I want to see him score 20-25? Of course. But that may come this upcoming season. I expect some big things from him.
You know what? I got 2 pennies right here. I don't know if y'all could see that. I got 2 pennies. Yeah, I still got them. I might be old. But my thoughts on him from the acquisition coming over from New York, when I really broke down his numbers, I noticed that this was the best that he's put up. He's put up 21.8 points, right? Every statistical category has been better since he's been here in Toronto, right? I've noticed the gelling, showing IQ around, hanging out with Scotty, going just up the street on Eglinton, right? Going to get some Jamaican food, some jerk chicken and some patties, right? And I'm pretty sure he's happy Randy's is open again, right? But I think that might have added to his mentality, him being home, what he calls home, right? And yeah. I think that might have elevated his game to such where he is a player that is going to be indicative to, not Grady, but indicative to where the Raptors can go. And I think he's an integral part of the Raptors organization and the Raptors core. And I think, honestly, look, man, we've all worked jobs. If you work a job that you love doing and you're home, you feel like you're home, right? You don't care about the pay. You don't care about anything else. You just want to get the job done because you feel good at the end of the day. And I think that's what he's doing here in Toronto, and especially out there in France right now, playing for the Canadian Olympic team. I've seen a couple games. And shout out to Freak Nation. Thank you for the broadcast, Lex. Um, I think it's actually an amazing thing to see, right? Because it looks like he wants to be a part of it. He wants to get a dub, right? He wants to contribute. He wants all of this, all these accolades. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even give a shit about the accolades. Yeah, I said it. We're already too deep in YouTube. Sorry. He doesn't give a shit about the accolades. He just wants to win. And with the players around him, he enjoys playing with them. Now, based on the Canadian team, I got to ask you, what are your thoughts on him playing with the Canadian team?
Yeah, I mean, the games that I saw, he was playing pretty good. He was pretty solid. I mean, look, what is RJ Barrett as a basketball player? You know, that's a question that still remains. You know, like I mentioned before, his rookie season at New York, where he just tore, like he played really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
That has to translate into his playing, his coming over to Toronto now, because we need that. We need that scorer. You know, not just IQ, but we need Rowan. Rowan. That's his dad, RJ Barrett. But yeah, Team Canada looks good, man. I mean, he's a good player. He doesn't bring a team down, but he just has to bring it more consistently. That 21 points, you know, that's an average. So sometimes he gets 30 or, you know, 27, high 20s. Sometimes he gets in the low teens. That's how you get that average, right? He just has to bring it more often. And, you know, sometimes, and that's what the games I saw last season. And again, this comes to him wanting to get used to or needing to get used to the systems and everything. And once he gets comfortable, then I honestly, I can see him being a 25-point scorer every night, you know, easily. You know, 25 and 7. I see him as that kind of guy, you know. So, yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of questions remaining about RJ. And to me, he's just got to bring it more consistently. And when he does that,
yeah, right now he's at 22-5, basically.
22-5.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got to, you know, if he wants to get, like, we need scorers. We need, IQ is great. He's going to be great. He's going to be a 25 guy plus too. But RJ needs to be there as well. We expect him to be that. So it's him, IQ,
Scotty.
You know, that's 50 points, right? Scotty, that's 75. You know, these guys got to bring it every single night. And then everybody else chips in. You know, Grady will get his 10 or 15. And, you know, those guys. But those three guys and RJ they have to show up next year. Or else we're just going to have another season like we did this past season. You know, if, you know, RJ scoring 31 game and then, you know, 10 and 11 next, IQ scoring 30. And then, you know, it's just like it was up and down. And that's why we couldn't get any W's really. So, consistency with the Raptors overall, but RJ, yes, absolutely 100%. He has to bring it every single night.
True Canadian right there.
True
Canadian right there. I honestly, I still can't get over the fact that he loves being here at home. I still can't get over that. I love that, right?
Yeah, and and that's a good thing, because if I expect him to do what I expect him to do and be a 25 and 7 guy next season, you know, teams are going to be knocking on the Raptors' door for him, for obviously for his services, right? But him being a Raptor now, him being a Toronto native, we can be rest assured that it's going to be a very, very tough sell to get that guy to leave. Do you know what I mean? So,
hell yeah.
You know, so this is a good thing, you know, fill the whole Raptors roster with Canadian players, man, because it's just a tough thing to do, to leave your hometown, right?
That's what I've been saying, my friend. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, some of these people that have left the Raptors over the years, I don't know why.
Look at Leonard, Kawhi Leonard. What's going on in LA with that? Paul George is gone. I mean, he's injury prone. He's like the Clippers are like a shadow of themselves.
Wait. Can I say this? When Kawhi wanted to stay, he wanted to bring Paul George here, and Masai said no. Do you think Masai made the right decision?
No. No, he should have brought him over. Did you see that interview with Paul George? And Paul George said that, eh? I didn't know that. When Paul George said that, yeah, me and Kawhi were supposed to come to Toronto, but they just didn't. The offer was just not there. Was not good enough.
Yeah,
Those two guys were what? I did not know that, man. I didn't know it was that close. And I had no idea that Paul George was involved.
Masai
you didn't want it?
Fuck that.
No, you wouldn't have done it?
No. Look at what we got right now here in Toronto, bruv. Yo, straight up, man. I'm telling you, in about 4 or 5 years, this team is gonna be kicking and licking everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know, but the way I was thinking, it was more like, okay, well, we just won a championship. You know, bringing Paul George in, we're gonna be competing for a couple more. You know,
but
now you said five or 4 years is 2029. That'll be like 10 years since we won the championship. So I was thinking more of like right away.
With that deal, it would have been 5 draft picks. Lowry,
yeah.
Siakam, OG going with 5
probably
picks for Paul George. No, that was on the table. I know it's for a fact.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. In retrospect, that it might have not because look at the Clippers, right? That could have happened in Toronto. Now you're looking at Kawhi. He's like in the sea by himself, just floating there. What are the Clippers
OKC
now?
OKC is eating off of that deal.
Oh,
they're loving it. With all
that's a team and a half right there. That's a team and a half right there, and they're still going to get better, right? Don't they still have a couple of first draft picks? That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's what Toronto's doing. They're building for the future, which I'm very proud of. And I'm very happy that RJ is here part of the future. What are your thoughts on RJ's future here in Toronto? Do you think he's going to stay and stick with the city to help get another chip? Right? Do you think he's going to stay with that? Do you think he's motivated to do that?
It's up to him. You know, I expect him, like I mentioned, to be a 25-7 guy. He's capable of doing it. We've all seen him do it. He's just got to do it more often. I don't see him leaving. You know, I see him, if he's, like I mentioned, if he does that 25-7, there's going to be a lot of teams knocking on the door for the Raptors, but I don't see him. It would have to be an astronomical amount of money to lure him away from playing in his hometown if he's playing well. And
isn't that the dream? Isn't that the dream? If you're a professional athlete, you want to play for your hometown.
Yeah, and you know, the only thing I can see him leaving voluntarily is if, you know, the Raptors don't pan out. Like they've got, like you mentioned, they got, you know, four years. You know, who knows? Maybe 2 years. He might wait 3 years. Depends on the development of Scotty. To be perfectly honest with you, you know, if he's going to be a franchise player, he's got to be that franchise player. You know, he's going into his 4th year.
Yep.
So, you know, that whole brand new stuff that doesn't jive anymore. You know, he's got to bring it. And I saw him kind of regress a little bit last year, which was a little bit concerning. So I hope he's not gonna. That's not a trend. I hope he comes back. But I mean, I believe.
No, I won't say last year. The year before, the second.
The year before, okay. But I believe that, you know, this off season, you know, they getting into training, you know, getting those reps, and, you know, being able to make mistakes without, you know, any consequence. You know, trying new things. That's what you do in practice. So, you know, I expect them to be in playoff contention next year. Let's put it that way.
So do I. I expect them to be somewhere near the lower, like 7th, 8th seed, right?
Yeah.
Maybe make it to the play-in. I expect that as well. And the thing with Scotty is this is his 4th year coming up. You know, kudos to him. The second year, the first year, he nailed it. You guys could go check that out. We talked about it in depth. The first year, he nailed it. Second year, teams were coming at him. Nick Nurse, yeah, that was a factor in there. Third year, now getting acclimated to Darko's system. And now, coming into the 4th season, him being the second longest player on the Raptors roster, behind Boucher.
Really? Tenure, eh? Holy. Yeah, Boucher's number one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Boucher's been there
I
the
wonder what's
longest.
going to happen with that guy. There's
Yeah,
a lot of questions there with that
that
guy.
that's the
I
last
was,
piece from the championship team.
is he on like a contract year? He's not on Team Canada, and I was wondering
Who,
about
Boucher?
that.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I think he's got 2 more years, if I'm not mistaken.
So he just didn't want to play for Team Canada?
I don't know. I don't know if he was asked. I don't know what went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, you know what? I just this conversation just made me realize that. Thinking
Yeah,
about it.
but
I'm like, yeah, he's not on the team. He's not on that Team Canada team. I didn't see him.
yeah, but you
Huh.
got RJ on there, right? Putting
Yeah.
up those left-handed shots. I love it. I love
He's
it.
crafty. He's crafty around the net, you know.
Yeah.
He's got he can pick off those angles off the board. Like he's a lefty. I think lefties got when it comes to shooting, lefties, I don't know, for some reason from my experience, they seem to be a little bit more on point than right-handed shooters.
Hey, it makes the job easier for me on defense because I could use my right to block.
That's right. What do you got, the
Makes my job
sniffles? What's
easier.
going on with you over there?
Makes my job easier. But no, seriously, let's get back to the point. Okay.
All right.
What's your trajectory for RJ coming up in the future right now for the Toronto Raptors? What do you see his
Well,
role?
I see him being more of a leader, quickly too as well. But I see RJ being more of the leader of this team, along with Scotty and IQ. You know, those guys are the guys that everyone's going to be following when it comes to practice, when it comes to games, and stuff like that. Like I mentioned, I totally expect him to kick his game up a notch. That's for sure. So I'm thinking 25-7 around that. And yeah, man, that's what I expect from him. Leadership and your stats going up next year. So I mean, it's going to be a bit of you know, what's the word? A big goal for him to do. But I think he's got all the assets, he's got all the attributes to make that happen. That we've seen it. He's done it a couple of times. But like I said, he's just got to bring it more consistently.
Yep. So I agree with you 100%, El Capitano, right? But do you have any final thoughts before we get out of here? Because I know you're busy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Captain Kirk, Esquire. He's got work to do. He's taking time out of his day for you. You have any final thoughts, my friend?
Final thoughts are, I hope the Toronto Raptors, I hope these guys are hanging out. I hope these guys are chilling together this offseason. I hope they're, you know, in Toronto hooping, or not Toronto, but I think they all go to LA or whatnot. But I hope they're all
Vegas.
together. Yeah, Vegas, IQ, Barnes, you know, Grady, all these guys, the core guys, man, because that's who we have to that's who we're going to expect to show up this season, this upcoming season. All those guys, I expect big things from a lot of people. IQ, I expect him to just continue what he's doing. RJ, I expect him to go up to 25-7. Grady Dick, I expect him to become you know, hopefully like a 13 like in 5 guy, you know,
I was thinking 15
I expect him to be
5.
like Tyler Hero, right? Like that
Yeah.
sort of player that comes in, provides that spark, gets that energy off the bench, or who knows, he might be starting. But you know, to give that to give the Raptors that lift. So overall, I expect them to be in playoff contention next year. And you said 6-7. I'm thinking, you know, God, so many good teams down the East. But yeah, I would go 5-6. I would think. I would go there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll come
Yeah.
back for the preseason prediction preview.
Okay, good.
Okay. And then you could drop your
Yeah.
numbers then when we know
Okay.
who's in the 905 and who's on the big league.
Okay,
Right?
okay. Sounds good.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in today. It's very much appreciated. Supporting To The Point. Okay. You guys know what it is. Supporting our fantastic guests, especially the captivating Captain Kirk, Esquire, right there. My man. All the way from the Steel Town to Hog City. Okay. You guys know what it is. And if you don't know what that is, you ain't Canadian. I'm just putting that out there. Okay. So on behalf of all of us and the To The Point family, and if you're watching, you are To The Point family, and Freak Nation out there, thank you for watching. Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and peace.